ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नमः श्रीशङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणि। Verse 47. सोऽयमित्यादिवाक्येषु विरोधात्तदिदन्तयोः त्यागेन भागयोरेकः आश्रयो लक्ष्यते यथा. So, soyam ityadi. Of course, we started this verse yesterday. Soyam Devadatta. This is a very famous statement. And very beautiful thing. It's a basically it's a recognition. Soyam indicates a recognition, recognition. So recognition involves two things. One is memory, and second is perception. Memory plus perception is equal to recognition. And saha, that Devadatta is this Devadatta, is a recognition. That is, in Sanskritam we call it as a pratyabhignya. Pratyabhignya is equal to smritihi plus pratyakshaha. This is the definition. And definitely that Devadatta is this, means there is a memory also. That indicates smriti. This indicates pratyaksha. This means pratyaksha. That means smriti. So that is this. That's called recognition. That is this means smriti indicated by thatness and thisness indicated by pratyaksha. And therefore smriti plus pratyaksha is equal to pratyabhignya or recognition. Very beautiful thing. And so soyam devadattaha, here it has been said what? And that's an equation. Saha and ayam are equated. That is this, equated. And where is the equation and what is the purpose of equation? Well, equation is possible only when there are two things. One on the left side and other on the right hand side. So that left hand side, let's say, and right hand side this, that is equal to this, right? And so this is the equation. And when do you get this equation between two entities? When that and this are totally opposite, then definitely you cannot put equation. That cannot be equal to this. Like 8 and 9. 8 is equal to 9. Nobody can say. And apparently if both are 1, totally identical, then also equation is not required. 8 is equal to 8. What is this equation? What is this equation? So when both the things are not, totally opposite, then also equation is not possible. When both the things are totally identical, then also equation is not possible. When apparently left hand side and right hand side looks contradictory, but essentially one, essentially identical, in that case we can put equation. So let's say 7 plus 1 is equal to 10 minus 2. Now all the four numbers are different, right? All the four, 7, 1, left hand side, right hand side 10 and 2. And there is a plus sign, here there is a minus sign, totally opposite. But if you know that this kind of they are opposite, they look opposite, they are not identical, that looks like, but basically essentially they are 1, because 7 plus 1 also is 8, 10 minus 2 also is 8. So this, in this case, equation is written what? 7 plus 1 is equal to 8 minus 2 or 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2. So this is how. So, and you suppose you don't have a eye, you don't have a third eye of arithmetic wisdom, then definitely this, you won't say that both the sides are equal, right? You will say, because all the four numbers are different and the signs are also different. One is, at one place it is plus, at one other place it is minus, and therefore the equation is not possible. Oneness or identity is not possible. You will say that. But if you have a third eye, perceptually let it be different. Perceptually all numbers are different, signs are different, let it be. But you have a third eye, not this eye, but the third eye, these two eyes other than that. That is called arithmetic wisdom. If you have, well, you say, you write the equation. Even though they are opposite, numbers are different, signs are different, but there is an oneness, there is identity between the two. And this is very, very important for us. And of course, if that third eye is not there, you will consider them as essentially different. If you have a third eye means that arithmetic wisdom, you will say essentially they are one, and well, perceptually they are different. So that is what you say. So the equation is possible only in this case only. So same way here, in our case also, this young Devadatta, Saha, that Devadatta was young and he was a schoolboy. That Devadatta and this old Devadatta which I am seeing right now in this party, right, in get together, well, both are totally opposite. Both have opposite attributes. That was a child who was not having a mustache, and this person has a big mustache and he has grown beard also. And that has a black hair and this has a white hair and whatnot. So you can compare yourself. That boy's weight was a different, and this person who has now, he become very hefty. He's a heavy, he has a lot of weight, and his height is different. That the boy's height was different. So perceptually the attributes were totally different, but essentially both are one person alone. So Saha, well, and this, well, basically is equated. Saha Devadattaha, Ayam Devadattaha. And so essentially both are one, because even though the features are different, so superficially they are different. Because if you look at it just from the standpoint of features, well, both are different. But if you have a third eye, and here the third eye is to recognize the person, well, then definitely you can say, you can shade off the superficial attributes from both the, body, etc. And then you understand the person is basically one alone. So this is what it indicates. And for that recognition, definitely this kind of equation is needed. So same way, once I know the identity between Jivatma and Paramatma, well, and Paramatma is basically asamsari, then if you write an equation, Ayam Atma Brahma, this Atma is Brahman, then this definitely here Atma means Jivatma, this Atma means this individual, Jivatma, and Paramatma. You cannot equate because attributes are totally opposite. Jivatma and Paramatma's attributes are totally opposite. So like that in the case of Devadatta, Here also the superficial features are there between Jivatma and Paramatma. One has the inferior attributes, one other has the superior attributes. All these attributes are, kept aside, and then essentially you find both are Brahman alone, both are just consciousness alone. So I can definitely say, once I understood this equation through the wisdom, Vedantic wisdom. This Vedantic is not an English word, but we have coined that word actually. There is no word in English called Vedantic. This is, we have, anyway, so Shastric wisdom. What is Shastric? Then you won't find such words in dictionary. Anyway, but the wisdom you gain, that is the third eye. That's what the third eye is. The wisdom you have gained from the scriptures, then definitely you know that I have to shade off the attributes. Attributes, if I look at that, the attributes I cannot make equation because the opposite attributes are there. Like that Devadatta and this Devadatta, if I look at it from the standpoint of attributes, well, I cannot equate. Same way here in Jivatma's, Paramatma's case also, I cannot equate. But I have a third eye. That is the wisdom gained from the scriptures. And by that I equate. That basically these are Jivatma. Well, I have to shade off attributes. Bhagatyag Lakshana, if you remember. Well, so attributes are given up from the Vachyartha of a Jiva and only the consciousness is retained. And from Paramatma also all these superior attributes are given up and because and consciousness is retained, and then you find both are one and the same thing. And so I am Paramatma, Paramatma is asamsari. Well, you have to claim. This is what you have to claim. Whatever may be the description of Paramatma, that applies to you. Whatever description of Paramatma is there, that applies to you. Paramatma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Svabhava. Paramatma is ever free. Well, I can say I am ever free. This is the equation. And therefore Paramatma is Nitya. I am Nitya. Paramatma is free from birth and death. I am also free from birth and death, etc. etc. Paramatma is free from the fear and this and that. I am also free from the fear and samsara. I am also Nitya Samsari. And in that case, this working for moksha, is a gross mistake. I am committing. Because what are you doing? Swamiji, I am listening to Kena Upanishad. What for? Oh, I am listening for moksha. I am working for moksha. I mean, working for moksha means what, you know? Working for moksha means moksha will come in the future. And right now I am not free. Therefore, then where is the equation possible? Paramatma is right now free from all kinds of attributes, and Paramatma is just a consciousness, limitless consciousness. You see, you should not say attributeless and limitless. Anything which is attributeless is limitless. Yeah. Swamiji, how can you say that? You are making statement because we don't raise an objection. That's how you keep on telling anything what you like. No, it's not like that. Less and less attributes, more and more pervasive. Less attributes, more pervasive. This is a rule. And therefore space is just one attribute. Shabda. Right? More extensive, more pervasive. And therefore, Vayu. Compared to space, less pervasive because two attributes. What are two attributes? You know, I should not ask you. We have seen in Tattva Bodha. Shabda and Sparsha. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. They are less extensive. Compared to air, the fire is less extensive, less pervasive. Like that. And therefore, and it becomes grosser and grosser. That's how Prithvi is grosser. It has all five attributes. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And then you can understand. If Brahman has no attribute, means it will be limitless. It will be limitless totally. All pervasive really applies to the one which is totally free from attributes. And if it is limitless in real sense, then it covers the subject also. It covers object and subject. So far as any attribute is there, it will be object of your knowledge. Once the attribute is not there, it cannot become an object of knowledge. But then it is attributeless, but it is limitless, we are telling. Limitless, then at least I should know what it is limitless. Yeah, but it covers subject. And therefore, you have to understand limitless in terms of subject. You cannot become an object. And therefore, but then if it is subject, Swamiji, then it cannot be object, Swamiji. And therefore, how can it be limitless? No, it is subject and object both. Then subject plus object is limitless? No. Then what are you talking? What has happened to you today? No, nothing has happened to me. So it covers subject and object. It transcends subject and object. Understand this. Subject plus object also is a limited entity. But it covers subject and object. At the same time, transcends subject and object. Immanent and transcendence. You know this very well. It is immanent to subject and object, pervades subject and object. At the same time, it transcends subject and object, both. And that is what it is. Therefore, what is attributeless really is limitless. And that can never become an object of knowledge. Because if being a attributeless and thereby it limitless, and it cannot cover you, then where is limitlessness? Where is limitlessness? If something which is an object of knowledge, well, definitely, and you are a subject, and subject and object both are different, definitely, then both are limited. So, what is attributeless is ultimately is free from, limitations. And if it is really limitless, then it should cover you, and therefore it cannot become object of knowledge, and you have to know it. It pervades you also being limitless, and therefore definitely you should know something limitless, well, it not in terms of object, but it in terms of subject. Therefore, attributeless nirgunam is limitless. And therefore here you have to drop attributes in order to understand that this jiva is basically Paramatma. And therefore moksha is something which is a gross mistake I am committing, that I am working for moksha, etc. More I know about this truth, more I understand this fundamental mistake, that I should not work for gaining moksha. Nobody can gain limitlessness. Nobody can gain. Any gain is always limited in time, place and everything. And therefore basically you are moksha. You are free. But I don't know. That is what the problem is. So ignorance is a problem. One cannot gain moksha. You are moksha sarupaha. You are free. Better you know it. That's all it means. Mahavakya just reveals. This equation reveals that whatever the Paramatma is right now, Paramatma is free. So you are also free right now. At this moment, at this place, you are free. Better you know. How do I know? Learn Mahavakya. That is what it is. How do I learn Mahavakya? Drop attributes. How can I drop attributes? Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So this is how it is. How can I be Paramatma? How can I? It is impossible. So then you retain the attributes, then you cannot make an equation. You cannot make an equation. Apparently difference, essentially one. Then equation is possible. Apparently different, and you take it essentially different. Gone. Miss the step. There is apparent difference, but you think that it is essentially they are different. 7 plus 1 and 10 minus 2 are Swamiji, they are different, at altogether different. Well, then you don't have a wisdom. Arithmetic wisdom you don't have. Well, that's a problem. And therefore, better gain the wisdom. That these are all apparent differences. Essentially, they are one thing alone. Please understand this. Bhagatyaga Lakshana is very, very important thing. And so basically, seeing moksha, understanding moksha as your own nature, that is the freedom. You understand that I am free is a freedom. You understand that I am free through the Mahavakya, through equating with the Paramatma. Paramatma cannot have a moksha in future. Paramatma being Paramatma must be free right now. And therefore it is equated with Jivatma. And therefore definitely you are also free right now at this point. So better learn it. Ignorance makes differences between you and Jiva, Paramatma. That's all. So because of ignorance you feel that you are distinct from Paramatma. You are Paramatma, you are free, etc., etc. Well, Soyam Ityadi Vakyeshu, the verse says, Soyam Ityadi Vakyeshu, like understanding the essential identity of the young and old Devadatta, well, who are superficially different. Virodhat tad idantayoho, Virodhat. Because of this contradiction, Virodhat, it's a Panchami, so indicates a cause. So, he indicates a Hetu. So, Virodhat, because of this contradiction, tad idam tayoho, existing at a superficial level between tat and idam, that and this Devadatta, etc. And well, that is the superficial. This contradiction existing at a superficial level. And in what? In the Vakya. Which Vakya? Soyam Devadatta, Saha means that, Ayam means this. And Ayam is a masculine form of idam. And so, idam word is there. If you make a masculine forms, it will, the first Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam is Ayam. Ayam Atma Brahma, like that. So, Ayam is this. So, in the Vakya called Soyam Devadatta, well, Tat and Idam, well, are different. Thatness and this, that and this definitely indicates a contradiction, but that is superficial. Like 7 plus 1 and 10 minus 2. Plus and minus. There is a contradiction, but superficial. Like that. So, superficial level, there is a difference between that Devadatta and this Devadatta. Tadidanta, this is, you may be finding a little difficult what are these things. Actually, they have made a samasa between tad and idam. And so, and tad plus idam. And then they have made the abstract noun. To make an abstract noun, always a suffix is added called ta. Like, I will give you an example. See, madhuram means sweet. Madhurata is abstract noun. Sweetness, that is what it is. Same way here, tat means that, idam means this, tadidanta means thatness, thisness, etc. So, thatness and thisness, well, in that Devadatta is just superficial. And how will you understand this superficial? And therefore, if it is superficial, what should I do? Tyagena bhagayoho. Then you give up that superficial differences, differentiating features, you can give it up. And eka ashrayaha lakshate, then you will gain, you will come to know that there is one and the same Devadatta is there. If you remove thatness and thisness, that makes a differences between two Devadattas as such. But actually there is only one Devadatta. Remove thatness and thisness. And thatness and thisness applies to what? Thatness applies to that time, that place, and with that attributes. Thisness applies to this time, this place, and with this certain different attributes. Remove that. Then a person is just one. So this is how, and so one and the same Devadatta is revealed. Lakshate, Lakshana Uchyate, Bhagatyagena Lakshana Uchyate. Whenever only Uchyate comes, you have to understand it is a Vachyartha. Lakshate comes, we have to do Lakshana. And that for us, the bread and butter, one Lakshana only works in our case. And that is Bhagatyaga. So part is given up, part is retained. From what? From Vachyartha. Vachyartha of what? Of a word. Of which word? Jivatma and Paramatma. So basically this is how you have to understand, because you will keep on asking me questions, so I have to go up to the word, and word are also this Jivatma and Paramatma. So similarly Jivatma Paramatma are just two names for one and the same entity, one and the same consciousness. Two names are there. So I am called Jivatma only because of the superficial differentiating features. And Yatha, so like in the Soyam, Devadatta, etc., that is Yatha indicates an example, So, just as in the example called Soyam Devadatta, we have removed the superficial differences and come to the conclusion that there is only one Devadatta. Ek Ashraya, they call it Ek Ashraya, means the one person alone. One and the same person is, Devadatta is understood. Same way here also, in our case, Mahavakya also we have to understand in that way. So anyway, Mahavakya we have done in verse 46, between tat and tvam. We first, what, if you remember, I will tell, yesterday only we did, verse 44 indicated tatpada vachyartha. Verse 45, we have seen the tvam-pada vachyartha. And in verse 46, with bhagatyaga lakshana, we have done that tat and tvam vachyartha are totally different. Individual, that is tvam-pada vachyartha is individual. And tat-pada vachyartha is Ishvara. Jiva and Ishvara cannot be equated. And therefore, we have removed the features which are creating such kind of a differences, where they are superficial, they are mithya. And so we have removed that. That you know what we have removed, Prakriti we have removed, etc. But anyway, what was told in verse 46, Vidyaranya thought, let me tell again. With this example I have given, Swayam Devdatta example I have given, so let me talk about it again. And so he is telling in verse number 48, don't worry, it is going to be over. And so it's going to be over. Swami, you are moving around there. But anyway, he is telling in verse 48, and we'll just see in a brief. Maya vidye vihayaivam upadhi parajivayoho akhandam satchidanandam parabrahmaiva lakshate. You have to supply tatha. Yatha means in the example, that is in verse number 47. Tatha means in verse number 48. Yatha indicates example. Tatha indicates the example, the thing for which the example is given. One is illustration. Yatha indicates illustration. Tatha indicates illustrated. So tatha evam, in this manner, parajivayoho upadhi. Parajivayoho. Para means Paramatma. Jivatma. Parajivayoho, well, upadhi. What are the upadhis? What are the transacting mediums? Let's say that way. Now today, let's say upadhi means a transacting medium. That's all. Consciousness cannot transact anything. Consciousness even cannot tell that I am consciousness. To tell you require a upadhi, that is mind. Thought is a upadhi, mind is a upadhi, sukshma sharira is a upadhi, and sukshma sharira also, cannot say anything. No, but Swamiji, sukshma sharira is there, you can say no. When sukshma sharira enters sthula sharira, then only it can say, or it can even know. To know also, mind is required, that is correct. But merely mind is not sufficient. Mind enters in gross body. Entire subtle body enters into gross body, then only the transaction is possible. Knowing, doing, anything. Jnana and, it may be a knowledge or it may be activity, any kind of other activity. Any kind of transaction, seeing, hearing, everything is possible when subtle body enters a gross body. Otherwise not. We have talked about it, that when the jiva lives behind this body, physical body, that jiva is not able to talk to you. Yeah, people say that I am talking to my grandfather and etc. That is all hallucination. You cannot talk because his gross body is already cremated. And so, if once he enters into another gross body, he will not know that I am a grandfather of so and so. Even though a lot of stories are there, some default, something, some kind of a defect has also occurred in the creation of Ishvara's creation, that the person enter into another body and talks also that I was in so and so village and I was having 5 children and all that. This is a small boy tells that I was having 5 children, etc., etc. And so there are so many books published on this Punarjanma, etc. Anyway, Punarjanma is there. It's simple to understand. Very simple. Punarjanma is there. It is, not that somebody has to tell you. A little common sense is required for that, to understand and accept Punarjanma. In a given life, you enter into several bodies, right? In a given life, one enters into several bodies. Every day, one gives up the identification with this gross body, enters into a dream body. From dream body again comes to this body, and this goes on. And dream bodies are dream bodies. Daily you get a new body. It's not the same body, and therefore, so in a given life you enter into several bodies, and therefore Punarjanma is possible. Why not? It's possible. One cannot negate it. One who negates it, he is not a person with a, he is not a person who is well informed. Well informed person will, he may say that, well, I don't care about Punarjanma. That's a fine. That's a correct answer to be given. That I don't care. Even if your Shastra says, but I don't care. That's one thing. But there is no Punarjanma, such person is ill informed, not well informed. He is ill informed. Definitely. And so, evam parajivayoho upadhi, that upadhi is a basic, please understand this, upadhi here is a dvivachanam, dual, because you will find a dirgha, I mean a long e. So that is parajivayoho upadhi, Paramatma's upadhi and Jivatma's upadhi. Paramatma's transacting medium, Jivatma's transacting medium. What is the Paramatma's transacting medium? Maya, it has been told here, Maya is a transacting medium. What is Maya? Maya means Prakriti. Prakriti means what? Basically, Tamah Pradhana Prakriti and Sattva Pradhana Prakriti is a transacting medium for Ishvara. And Avidya, Maya, Avidya, that is also dual. That's how Maya cha, Avidya cha, Maya, Avidya. This is how the samasa is. It's a Dvandva samasa. So, Avidya, and Avidya is a upadhi of a Jivatma. What is Avidya? Raja Pradhana Prakriti. We have seen that. And therefore, through, these are the upadhis through transacting mediums. And here it has been said, Vihaya. Vihaya means giving up the upadhi from both the sides. From both the sides means for both the sides for what? Both the sides of equation. So you are writing an equation, Jivatma is equal to Paramatma. Then, if you keep the upadhis, Raja Pradhana Prakriti means it is Kama Karmadi Dushitam, yesterday it has been told, which is having a Kama and Karma Phala and all that. And so Bhoktrutvam, Kartrutvam. That is how the Brahman with this Avidya Upadhi is Jiva, and Jiva is like this. And on the other side, Paramatma has a Tamah Pradhana Prakriti and Sattva Pradhana Prakriti. He is a Sarvagnya, Sarvashaktiman and Jagat Karanam, etc. etc. He is a creator and Jivatma is a creature, and so you cannot equate. So because of Upadhi, they are looking like creature and creator and all this. Alpagnya and Sarvagnya, Alpashaktiman, Sarvashaktiman. Give up. Vihaya. Vihaya means abandon them. Abandon them. Give up. And therefore, giving up that, well, ultimately, what will you get? Akhandam Sachidanandam Parabrahmaiva Lakshase. Well, you ultimately will arrive at both this, because ultimately Brahman alone with the Upadhi appears as a Jiva and Paramatma, and therefore Akhandam I have told you, no division. Khandam means a division. Akhandam means no division. Parabrahmaiva Lakshate, Lakshana Uchyate, Bhagatyaga Lakshana we have done. So because Vachyartha, through Vachyartha we cannot make an equation. So with this, Vidyaranya concludes this Shravanam part of Jnana Yoga. And definitely now the part which is coming is a little bit difficult. Panchadashi will show it some colors to us, and already I have given you some chart. Well, we are not going to discuss about the chart, etc. It takes some time because that will be in the 50th verse. But let us see, the Shravanam means what? It's a consistent and, the systematic study of this Vedanta, scriptures, etc. for a length of time under the teacher's, guidance, etc. And so, and how long you should study? What is this? Because that is Shravanam. How long one should study? Well, one understands Mahavakya completely. What is the understanding of Mahavakya? I am Brahman. That I am saying right now. Then I want to give up your classes now. That's enough. Oh, because I have understood. Aham Brahmasmi. It's not Aham Brahmasmi when you are saying. Do you really claim that you are Brahman? That may take some time, Swamiji. Okay, then continue Shravan. That how time it is going to take time, and how much time you and me both don't know, and therefore continue Shravan. Therefore, systematic study for a length of time under the guidance of a teacher, while one has to continue till you say, I am Brahman, thoroughly. In fact, if I say you are Brahman, you are Jagat Karan, Swamiji, sorry, I am not. then definitely Mahavakya Shravanam has to be done. Again and again it has to be done. And till your self-assessment totally changes. Because your assessment of yourself under the spell of ignorance is of one type. What is that assessment? Oh, I am the very speck in the small speck in the whole cosmos. And after understanding Mahavakya, etc., now what is your assessment? Well, that assessment is entire creation is a speck in me. Everything in me. Black hole? Yes. I pervade black hole. All entire solar system? Yeah. I pervade entire solar system. Because nothing is beyond consciousness. Anything beyond consciousness is not there. Anything beyond your mind is there. And that also you are able to tell that something is beyond your mind because of consciousness. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore, at a given moment, something is in your mind and every other thing is outside the mind, you are able to say, because ultimately everything is in consciousness. I have given you the example day for yesterday that there are, some people are within the wall and some people are outside the wall. Let's say one party plot or something, ground is there. Some people are within the ground and it has a compound wall, let's say. Then many people are outside this ground. But with reference to space, everybody is within the space, right? Same way, so many things are outside the mind. Certain things are inside the mind in terms of thought. That's correct. But many things are outside the mind also you are able to tell because of consciousness. So that is, everything is within the consciousness. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore, ultimately, everything is just a speck. Entire universe is a speck and I pervade everything. That is your assessment after Mahavakya. Once you say that and you mean it, well, you don't require Shravanam. You don't require Shravanam at all. You don't require any other thing. You can move around. Nothing, without doing anything. Eat twice a day, take 2-3 cups coffee and sleep. Because it's over. It's over. When you say the universe is a speck in me. Sorry, what are you speaking? I am telling you. That is coming in Atma Bodha. Upadane khiladhare jayanti parameshwara sargasthiti layaryanti budbudani iva varini. The beauty of the Atma Bodha is, for every Vedantic principle, Acharya has given example. That's the beauty of Atma Bodha. Every verse has a different example, making you understand the Vedantic principle, but for every principle, for understanding of every principle, well, Acharya has used an example. So here also example is there. Budbudani iva varini. So basically, all these galaxies, etc., are like the bubbles in the ocean of consciousness. And so this is your assessment. And if you have this assessment, well, Shravanam is over. But if you don't have this assessment, and you have an assessment that I am the speck in the entire creation, in the universe, then definitely it's an assessment under the spell of ignorance. And then continue the Shravanam. That's what it is. So after the study of the scriptures, one should get this as the message of the scriptures. So this is the essential bottom line message of even Upanishads also. And well, I have told you in Kaivalya Upanishad that has been told, Mayyeva sakalam jatam, Mayi sarvam pratishthitam, Mayi sarvam layam yati, Tad brahma advayam asmi aham. Mayi eva sakalam jatam, from me everything is born. Mayi sarvam pratishthitam, in me alone everything exists. Mayi sarvam layam yati, everything resolves into me ultimately. Tad brahma aham asmi, tad advayam brahma aham asmi, that non-dual Brahman, limitless Brahman is me. So once I complete this while receiving this message, Shravanam is over. And so, but Jnana Yoga is not over. because mananam is required, and mananam role is a very, very big thing. You have understood the purport of the scriptures, that Shastra wants to talk that you are limitless Brahman. You are limitless consciousness. That I understood. But Swamiji, I don't think that I am limitless. So mind has several questions. So we'll now enter into Mananam part, which will go from verse number 49 to 53. Then verse 54 onwards, then will be Nididhyasana. So let's read verse 49. Savikalpasya lakshatve lakshasya syadavastuta nirvikalpasya lakshatvam na drashtum na cha sambhavi. So to understand this Mananam, actually we should know certain technical aspects of this Vedanta Shastra. And we look upon this Vedanta Shastra or the Upanishads as an independent source of knowledge, and we call Shastra as a Pramana, a source of knowledge, and source of knowledge which is independent also. Like every sense organ is an independent source of knowledge, right? And there, same way, even Shastra also, the scriptures also, Upanishad are independent source of knowledge. And of course, every means of knowledge or pramanam has its own field. It has its own field. And the Chakshu has its own field, that is called Rupam. And the ears have its own field called Shabda, sound, etc. And Shastra has its own field, that is Atma, actually. So, eyes are an independent source of knowledge for colors, forms, which cannot be known by any other instrument of knowledge. That is why I call independent. Similarly, nose is also independent for the smell, ears are independent for the sound, and Vedanta also is independent source of knowledge. We call as a Shabda Pramana, basically. So we have seen this in Upanishad that there are 6 sources of knowledge. And if you remember, when we started the study of a Kenopanishad, initially we talked about the 6 pramanas, if you remember. And that Pratyaksha is there, Anumanam is there, Arthapatti is there, Anupalabdhi is there, etc., etc. And Upamanam also is there. And lastly, the Shabda Pramanam also is there. And therefore, among this, the 6 pramanas, Shabda Pramana, that is, Shastra also is a one source of knowledge. A Pramanam must satisfy 2 conditions for its validity. First, a independent Pramanam or a source of knowledge must be that which should give you a unique knowledge. I have defined it. I am just telling you all this again. If you remember, I have defined the Pramanam as Anadigatam, Abaditam, Arthavat, Bodhakam, Pramanam. We have defined that way. I am talking right now about Anadigatatvam. Anadigatatvam means, Adigatam means known. Anadigatam, not known, means unique. What a given means of knowledge, a particular means of knowledge gives you the data should not be known by any other means of knowledge. Like color and forms can never be known by any other means of knowledge called ear, nose, etc. Ear can give you the knowledge of sound. That sound cannot be known through eyes or cannot be known through your taste buds or cannot be known through your nose. That is called Anadigatatvam. Uniqueness. Every means of knowledge is unique. That is also called, Anadigatatvam is also called as Apurvata. I am trying to connect. If you remember, I have told you word Apurvata at one place. While doing Shravanam of the Shastra, I have told you that there are 6 indicators by which you can understand the particular subject matter is the purport of that Shastra, of that book. And for that I have told you Upakrama Upasamharo Abhyaso Apurvata Phalam Arthavadopapattisha Lingam Tatparya Nirnay. Like that I have told you. I am again defining it. Upakrama Upasamharo. A particular book is there. you have a particular book. You want to know what is the purport of this book. What is the main subject matter of this book? If you want to know, let's say, then you have to see these 6 things in that. These are all 6 lingam indicators are there. Just check what is in the beginning. What is preface? First. What is at the end? Check that. And well, upakrama means beginning. Upasamhara means the end. And so check what is written. Because generally preface, in the preface you should write what is the content of the book. And therefore, and upasamhara also is that. Lastly, in conclusion also you will write the main subject matter. So conclusion and the preface, let's say that way. Upakrama, upasamharo, abhyasaha, and in between also if suppose a particular subject matter is told again and again, abhyasaha, then you should understand that is the purport of this book. Because he wants to emphasize, and therefore he all the time talks about it at a given interval. Like this is all based on our transaction. Suppose your son is going for a study to a particular school, and then then you certain instructions you give again and again. So that is that because it's an important thing. Same way here, that's called abhyasa. Of course, children get tired. Children get tired if you talk to them. So then they say enough. They say like that. I have understood. It's enough. Like that they say. But anyway, here Shastra is basically won't bother about it, because whatever you say it is not going to listen. And therefore Shastra will repeat. Like Tattvamasi is repeated 9 times in Chandogya. 9 times. Uddalaka kept on telling with different examples. Well, several examples he used. And Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, like that. So it is Abhyasa. So you can understand Tattvamasi is the purport of the entire Upanishad. And Abhyaso Apurvata. See this. What a given book tells about that subject should not be available through other means of knowledge. Should be available through Shabda from other book, that's a different thing. But should not be available from other means of knowledge. Otherwise, otherwise this is not called a valid source of knowledge. And same way Upanishad talks about Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, and therefore definitely that Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam cannot be arrived at by Pratyaksha, by Anumana, by Arthapatti, by Upamana, by Anupalabdhi. You cannot arrive at. And therefore that is called Apurvata. That Apurvata is called here as Anadigatatvam. Same thing. Apurvata means uniqueness of a given source of knowledge. Whatever it gives you data should not be available through other means of knowledge. That's all it means. And therefore every pramana has a unique field. And as I told you, colors and forms etc. is unique to the eyes. Sound is unique to the ears. Taste is unique to the taste buds, organ of taste. And smell is unique to the nose. Cannot be available smell. Well, if you want to check the smell of a rose, after employing the nose, you employ ears, etc. But it doesn't work. It will not work that way. So Vedanta also is pramanam which gives a unique knowledge which cannot be gained through any other source of knowledge. So this is the first thing. And Vedanta tells also like this, that the whole world is in me. Ayyo. Ayyo. That's how our South Indian friends will tell. Ayyo. Because this cannot be arrived at by any other means of knowledge. It's a sign of annoyance basically. Ayyo or ayyo, whatever, is a sign of annoyance. And therefore, basically, because we talk something which you cannot arrive at. You say, I am a speck in the creation. Vedanta says, whole creation is a speck in you. Okay. What do you want to say further? The other condition also is there for pramana. It should not be contradicted by any other pramana. Should not be contradicted by any other pramana. Pratyaksha, Anumana, etc. also, You may feel that what I have talked is contradicted by your own experience. But wait. Because Vedanta says whole creation is, a speck in you. And you have an experience that I am a speck in the whole creation. And therefore it has as though contradicted. It has not contradicted. It has really not contradicted. Don't worry. That is where the mananam is required. So, if you take a sun rising, etc., our standard example, very beautiful example is of sunrise. So, we have to say I is not a pramanam because sunrise is contradicted by science. Science definitely proves that there is no sunrise. Your eyes prove that there is sunrise, like that. Then we say I is not a pramanam. So, then definitely we say it is just, because science says it is the movement of the earth which makes us see a sunrise. So, like that, there are many optical illusions are there. Many optical illusions are there which are contradicted by our own experiences and sources of knowledge. So, a pramanam is a one only when it cannot be contradicted by any other thing. So, we have to find out that whether the Shastra pramanam is contradicted by any other pramanam or not. That's a job of mananam. So, when I study this pratyaksha pramana, etc., my experience tell that I am a very small and speck in the world, whereas the Shastra says the whole world is a speck in you. Therefore, it appears that Shastra is not a pramanam because it is contradicting another pramanam called pratyaksha, etc., but it is not contradicting. How? We'll see tomorrow. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So, I have told Hari Om. I have told you regarding that. I think our Shuddhatmaji is sending email to perhaps some of them you might have got also, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so better register and then they will give a link and ID, etc. And so you can connect. Right now you are also connecting to the Zoom. You will have a different ID, etc. That's the only difference. And so from Sunday we will have a class. Of course we are continuing these classes till then, but from Sunday morning, same time 9:45 and evening 4:15 we'll have a class. And we'll complete Atma Bodha. As we have completed Tattva Bodha, we'll try to complete Atma Bodha in 2 camps, basically. So first camp we will have 12 classes and next camp I have 6 classes. Let's see, in 18 classes I would be able to complete this Atma Bodha. If it is not, we'll complete in our regular classes. We'll see that.
One announcement, Swamiji. I have posted my number on this, so in case a lot of people are not part of our group, so those who want to be included, please send me your details so I can include you in the group. So whatever chart Swamiji passes on, I can put it on the group and everybody gets different announcements from time to time. So I have posted my telephone number, so just a lot of you are already there, but there are a lot of new faces also.
Okay, good. Nice.
Swamiji,
Huh.
you said it starts from July 27, which is Monday.
Monday.
From Monday? Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Monday morning.
No problem. In morning he told me Sunday, 26.
Sunday evening, maybe a orientation, Swamiji.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe that's what.
Yes, you are right. Absolutely. So my camp starts from 26 minutes. So there will be orientation like in.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll have a class from Monday. Okay, good.
Oh.
No problem.
That's what the email said.
Swamiji, so
That's fine.
this camp is different from the Panchadashi class will still be there?
Yeah, see, Panchadashi classes will suspend for 2 weeks and we will do this, Atma Bodha, etc. And you will also have some relief from Panchadashi for some time.
So is that like we have to register for the camp? Or?
Yeah, that is what it is. You have to register. And for that thing, you have to contact our Shuddhatmaji, perhaps. I think that's the number they have given out.
Swami, the only thing I did is I'm going to join and he sent me the link. I already got the link as well.
It's on the website.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it is online only then, right? Not physical camp.
No, this is all virtual classes. Virtual class. Virtual
Okay.
class. You will be in your home and I will be here in ashram and we'll have a class.
Okay. And is it a whole day or just the evening?
No, only 2 classes, like our this classes, morning 1 class, evening 1
Okay.
class.
Okay, but more like camp setting.
Yeah, and of course we'll have a satsanga in a evening, every evening, I think 7 to 7:45 or something. Some question answers.
Okay. That
Right.
is good. Okay.
Okay, good. So any question is there, well, Prabodh ji can answer. You can call even Shuddhatma ji also. Or, so that's there. Okay, fine. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.